So this is our 4-channel oscilloscope. The 4 channels are controlled on the front here, so you switch them on and off with the channel buttons, switch them off with the signal off button. The connector on the front is a BNC connector. These are our standard probe connectors. They are a 10-to-1 probe, so that the signal is divided by 10. They've got this little pin which tells the oscilloscope that it is a 10-to-1, so it does the maths for you. So just push them on and it's a quarter turn for them to be connected in. The other end of the probe is spring-loaded little grabber that will come off, and there's a little pin, but obviously those are a little bit delicate, so be careful. Put them on and they will snap into place. You'll feel like a click. You've also got the connection for the common, for the ground. There's a test point on here that we can use, so we connect that up and connect the ground up. We can then move the signals about, so you just select the colour and you see the dials change colour according to what channel you're using. So this display is like a piece of graph paper. It's time against voltage. The time's going that way, in fact. So the voltage is selected per division, so it shows you up here, and you can have it different per channel. So if you're going to make it easy to read, you'd sort of center it about one of the lines, and the number over here will tell you that. So I've now got my 0 on this line, so you can see it's 2 squares, 500 millivolts. That's about a 1 volt signal. We then want to work out this direction, but you can see it's a bit free running at the moment. If I make it a bit bigger, it's almost unreadable. So in order to make it a bit more readable, we're going to use the trigger, which is controlled up here and indicated on the screen here. So we need to bring that down with this dial, and there we are. You can see it sort of snaps into place, so it just shows you one section at a time. You can, if you've got a nice clean waveform like this, press it and it will find the midpoint of the signal for you. So then we can adjust the scaling this way to show whatever you want, how many waveforms you want to see. And the time base, as we call it, is displayed up here, so that's 500 microseconds per square. So this signal is about 1 millisecond. Once you've done that, you might want to measure. So you can use quick measure, and that will take some readings of your signal. Again, on a nice clean signal like this, it's quite good. So you show some information down here, it will show you rise times and fall times. That's fine, but it only does 1 channel. That's the downside to that. You see it automatically disabled channel 2. So what you can do is you can use the measure feature, which will do some automatic measurements for you, but you can do it on multiple channels. So there's 4 squares here that will fill up. So measurement 1, if I switch it on, it's already selected to amplitude, but we'll just have a quick look. You can see there's lots of things in here. You select and click and tell it which channel you're measuring, so that's fine. So you can see, as we already said, it's about a volt peak to peak. If you want to do another one, simply select number 2, switch it on. So this one's already selected a frequency, but again, you could do period. Select that, and that will select there. Obviously, if you want to do a different channel, we've only got 2 channels live, so we've got 2 to select from. So we can do that. Obviously, there's nothing on that one. If you haven't got a nice clean signal, you'll need to use the cursors feature. So you press that, select the parameters you want to measure. Again, there's a big long list of them. Generally, we'd measure voltage and time at the same time. And then you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4 lines appeared. So using the navigation dial, you can just click around them and they will highlight. So if I put that on 1 wave period there, and then when we get to the other ones, we'll do peak to peak. So again, obviously the auto will pick up some of it, but if you've got one of those little spikes or it's a non-standard waveform, that's where you'll need to do it manually. So now we've got some values in this box here. So 1, 2, so you're generally interested in the deltas, so 1 volt peak to peak. Time is about 999, again 1 millisecond. The only other thing that might be of interest is back on the channels. If you've got a DC offset, you can filter that out using that feature. So the AC input just puts the capacitor in line with the signal, will filter out your DC components for you, so you can just look at the AC component. And if you've got a particularly slow signal, you might want to put it onto what's called roll mode, so that's in acquisition and roll, and it will go across like an old graph chart recorder, and you can slow that right down. Obviously we've got a fast signal at the moment.